That's the cover.
I think you can see a bit. No, you can't. Okay.
Yeah, definitely 3 shoes. I stared at this thing long and hard.
Oh, wow.
But you want to know what the most egregious error on this book is?
What?
The strike plate on the door frame. That little thing where the door bolt clips into when you open and close it.
Yeah.
On the wrong side of the door. Or rather, the door is opening on the wrong side.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Because that little part that sticks out is supposed to be on the same side as where the door opens and closes. This way, it's never going to clip into it. And there's no other outside door.
Right.
And that door should be opening towards the outside. But homeowners' discretion, they can do what they want.
No. When you open the door, it goes in.
Well, it depends. Some
it?
people have 2 doors. 2 front doors.
Okay,
You're right.
When you have
That's
one
why
door,
I'm saying.
for the context of this, where there's one door, Matthew.
I'm going to say homeowner's discretion. But whatever side your door is opening on, that's where you're going to have the strike plate. So Jacobus, I give you a lot of praise on this show, but you're going to take your lumps, sir. This is largely the reason why I didn't remember this book very fondly. The cover
Matthew.
in general. Better step your game up, Jacobus.
Oh, jeez, he did this 25 years ago, Matthew.
I understand. Okay, let's get into the recap, Nick.
Oh boy, are you guys ready for this?
I know I'm not. Listener beware. You're in for a scare.
And a good long cry afterwards.
We're introduced to Hannah. She's got on the day glow green shorts and a bright orange top. Yep. What are day glow green shorts? I don't know, but it sounds like a 90s term for...
Oh, God, no,
really
it's like
bright,
really fluorescent green.
Yeah, fluorescent.
Like that pale, almost yellow-y one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stine loves these colors. He lives through his characters.
It was the 90s, man.
Stine wishes he could pull these colors off because he's, as long as I've known the man...
Personally?
Not personally, but through his own home video releases, he's a man internally dressed in black.
Yes.
He's never going to wear these day glow green shorts.
Who Roland Deschain is after.
I will take your word for that, sir.
Yep.
What's the name of this town that this story is taking place, Nick? I'm sure you wrote it down.
I did, but it's not here. It's like Greenville Falls or something. What's it?
Nick's notes forever in retrograde. Soon they're just going to be... It's going to be written on toilet paper.
Wait, you mean this isn't toilet paper?
No, at least you got some color font, some color print on there.
Yeah.
It's Greenwood Falls, Nick.
Well, I was close enough,
You
wasn't I?
You were. All you really had to remember was that it had falls in the title. Stine, What is it with the falls? All the falls.
All the falls. But to his credit, there are a lot of falls in the
There's a lot of falls.
Like, it's...
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we start off this book, pretty vivid and horrific fire dream, right?
Yes.
Hannah, she's burning alive in her bedroom, watching the wallpaper peel and curl and the flames.
It was horrific to read.
Yeah, the flames rippling across her dresser, and she's just
licking everything.
Licking, yeah. No, I definitely... I've never been in a fire, but I feel like I've been in a fire now.
Okay.
Because of Stine's description.
Okay.
And what is Hannah doing? She's just lying there, hiding under her covers.
She's reserved in the fact that it's all over.
Yeah, it's not even no point in trying to get up.
No point in trying.
She wakes up because this is a dream, a little disoriented, and thinks to herself, at least my dreams aren't boring. Doesn't have a very high opinion of herself, I guess.
At least my dreams aren't boring.
Is this the voice you're committing to for Hannah?
Maybe.
Okay. So this is peak summer vacation right here, Nick. Hannah doesn't even know what day it is. Too hard to keep track of these lazy summer days. Even?
I have a hard time keeping track of the days, but that's because I usually sleep through them.
Yeah. But I mean, do you remember the summer, right, Nick? Remember fun?
No.
Remember just being carefree?
No, I don't. I really don't. I grew up fast, man.
Yeah. Man, summers where you didn't even know what day it was, they just seem to go on forever. I want to go back to that time. I mean, Hannah, she's a little gloomy right now, but she's living the dream, Nick. She's literally living the dream.
God damn it, Matthew.
No, but it's been a very boring summer for poor Hannah. Can I call her Hannah?
No, Hannah.
Okay, Hannah.
Hannah.
Hannah Banana.
Hannah Fairchild.
Okay. Yeah, her last name is Fairchild. You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
All of her friends are away on vacation or at camp.
Yeah. What did she say about being sent to camp?
Well, I think her mom apologized to her at one point. She was like, I'm sorry that you're having such a lousy summer. I'm sorry we couldn't afford to send you to camp.
Yeah, and I was afraid that, like, oh god, is it Camp Nightmare?
Camp Night Moon.
Whatever, Camp Night Moon, like,
Yeah.
this, and I said, like, send her to camp, like, I wrote in my notes, this better take place on fucking Earth.
Yeah. No, for sure. And, well, actually, I didn't even write that. I forgot that it didn't take place on Earth, the last book. But this one,
Really?
I was like...
Because that was the whole fucking point of it.
It was. In this one, I was more concerned. It's like, well, if her friends are at Camp Night Moon, the postal service is horrible over there. It's abysmal. They're not getting any letters.
They're not getting letters.
And then I just started thinking about the last book, and if all the kids were in on this, for Billy, and Billy, it was all just a big show for Billy. Mm-hmm. Why did all the kids write letters to their parents and seal them and
they probably
them?
just wrote like the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog over and over again, and then put them in envelopes.
Okay, sure. I guess if Billy had gone through any of the letters, maybe.
Billy.
Yeah. All right. But this isn't that anymore.
No,
we've given up.
No,
That's not. It didn't even take place on Earth. Why are we still talking about it?
I don't know.
So she's just a real sad sack, Nick. Biking around town, looking for something to do. It's she's got some sadness to her. Oh, but not today, Nick. No, today she is reborn. She feels alive. Has a new lease on life. This is all.
Oh my God.
This is her words mostly. Why?
Yeah, she has a lot. She has a strange vocabulary.
She does, and she's thinking all these things because it's not written from her perspective.
No, it is third person.
Yeah.
But that's what I noticed with his writing is that it's the books that are written in third person, they still incorporate thoughts in the first person.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'll get to it later, but yeah.
And I don't mind it because I don't.
No, it's not. It's not a bad thing.
No,
it's just something I've noticed.
It just seems like the structure of the way it's written isn't always the same. It throws you off sometimes when you're reading it.
It's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said it so weird.
Sometimes you get razors in them.
I was just having a stroke.
Why is she so happy, Nick?
She's not.
She is, though. Today she's happy.
Oh.
She wakes up real happy because...
It's a beautiful morning.
Yeah, because she did not burn to death.
I mean, she sure didn't that night.
No, it was a horrific fire dream.
Yeah.
Remember that. It was a dream. Her skin is still firmly attached to her bones.
It's not peeled off.
No,
it's not melted to the floor.
Not a crispy bit on her, Nick.
Oh.
So she's in a great mood. She's outside now, the summer air, sweet and fresh. And then bam, blindsided. She's hit from behind, actually.
Yeah, she says there's a stabbing pain in her back or something.
Yeah, and she falls to the ground.
Sorry, a sharp pain in her back.
Sharp pain, yeah. She gets hit by a kid on a bike. Knocks her to the pavement.
It's another fucking ginger kid.
Yeah, it really is. And, oh, man. And the reddest little redheaded boy you ever did see, Nick. Danny Anderson. Hair like candy corn with a face full of freckles and cute to boot.
Okay, I'll allow it. Just for the record, the rest of my notes have been stricken until the end because,
in the spirit of not giving away spoilers right up on Fear Street, we gotta push them to the end here. Nick is wiping his mouth with his notes now. You can hear that they are not written on toilet paper. I kind of wish they were.
Once again, ladies, hello. Oh, God.
So Danny Anderson.
Danny Anderson.
The one and only.
Wow.
Well, probably in Greenwood Falls, at least. The two exchange introductions. Hannah here, she says that she's 12. How about you? Is that normal interaction between two people?
I don't know. I don't meet people.
You tell them your age, and then you ask,
hi,
what's yours?
Yeah, I don't know.
We could start doing that.
I don't want to.
Both Hannah and Danny, they're equally surprised to learn that they live right next door to each other.
Right next door to each other.
Next door neighbors, even.
Yeah, next door neighbors.
Yeah, like they share a fence.
They share a fence.
Yeah.
For how long have they been sharing a fence?
It's not described. Danny is very surprised that Hannah lives in that house, but she's been there ever since she was a little baby.
Yeah.
And Hannah thought that the house beside hers was empty for years, but apparently not. And Danny doesn't really talk too much about how long he's lived in that house, but you could tell it's not just a couple weeks.
Yeah, no, he's been there a while.
Yeah. Hannah turns her head for a second. Maybe she sees a butterfly. Ladybug, I don't know.
Because women are easily distracted, Matthew.
I didn't say it, but it is the summertime, and there are so many distractions in the summer, Nick. Danny vanishes. Just gone. Poof. I think the book says poof, but I don't believe he went poof. I think he just went back inside his house.
Yeah.
Hannah has a poor sense of time. She turns her head for a second. Could be days.
Yeah, I noticed that during the book, too. It's like, oh, she turned around, and then suddenly it was like 8 days later. And it's like, what the fuck?
Well, even when she woke up from her dream, it was like 8 a.m, and she was like, what? It can't be that early already. I just went to bed.
Well, that's how sleep works. It's a time travel to breakfast.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
I never eat breakfast in the morning.
Me neither. It's just like,
So I feel like I'm time traveling for nothing.
Aren't we all?
And you can't make it stop. Later on, Hannah writes a strongly worded letter to her best friend, Janie, who's away at camp. Janie had promised to write Hannah every day. But Janie, it seems, is a terrible friend. So, Nick, I think we're gonna have to read Hannah's letter to Janie because it is sort of important.
The first of many.
Yeah. Or at least 2. I think she writes at least 2.
Whatever.
But you can tell it's not the first letter she's written to this woman. So, Nick, do you want to read the letter out?
Yes, it's a scolding letter to her friend Janie. Janie Pace. Dear Janie, I hope you're having a good time at camp, but not too good, because you broke your promise. You said that you'd write to me every day, and so far I haven't received a crummy postcard. Kiss me hard before you go. I am so bored. I don't know what to do. You can't imagine how little there is to do in Greenwood Falls when no one is around. It's really like death. I watch TV and I read a lot. Do you believe I've already read all the books on our summer reading list? Dad promised to take us all camping in Miller Woods. Big thrill. But he's been working just about every weekend, so I don't think he will. Boring, Sydney. Oh, my God. Last night I was so bored I marched the twins outside and built a little campfire behind the garage and pretended we were away at camp and told them a bunch of scary ghost stories. Nothing scares me anymore. How apropos. Kiss me hard before you go. Summertime sadness. The boys wouldn't admit it, of course, but I could see they enjoyed it. But you know how ghost stories freak me out. I started seeing weird shadows and things moving behind the trees. It was really kind of hilarious, I guess. I totally scared myself. Don't laugh, Janie. You don't like ghost stories either. Got that summertime sadness. I'm feeling it. My only other news is that a new boy moved into the Dodsons' old house next door. His name is Danny, and he's our age, and he has red hair and freckles, and he's kind of cute, I think. I've only seen him once. I'll die happy tonight. Maybe I'll have more to report about him later. But now it's your turn to write. Come on, Janie, you promised. Have you met any cute guys at camp, you slag? Is that why you're too busy to write to me? If I don't hear from you, I hope you get poison ivy all over your body, you bitch. Especially in places where you can't scratch. Love always, Hannah.
I feel like you took certain liberties with some of her phrasing.
Nope, that's verbatim.
Verbatim, eh?
Verbatim.
What? I don't understand her accent, but I like it.
Look, she's a classy broad.
That was a good reading, though.
Thank you. I'll read the next letter as well.
Okay. You mentioned in your letter, I actually forgot to mention it earlier, but Hannah's got 2 twin brothers, younger twin brothers.
Yeah. They're not as much a part of this book as the siblings in the other books.
Not at all, no.
That's why I didn't make note of them either, really.
Yeah, every now and then I have to mention them, but Bill and Herb Fairchild, 6-year-olds and pests.
Well, that's the thing. They didn't feel like as much like little shits as all the other little siblings.
Not at all, yeah. They're a bit of comic relief, actually, I felt.
You know what I was picturing? Phineas and Ferb.
Okay. Like
just because his name was Herb.
Okay. But yes, like I said, They're a bit of comic relief. And in an otherwise depressing story, Nick, I never found them to be particularly annoying. Just kind of chaotic.
Yeah, chaos is the ladder.
Hannah bikes into town now.